Okay, welcome back to Flash, and we're on our block of the month, block 4, or month 4. And so we're going to do a little more fussy cutting like we have in the past. And I'm going to show you how I did one piece so that you can cut yours correct. Now, this is month 4. We're going to be cutting these big flowers here in a couple of different colors. Before you do your cutting, though, from our previous blocks that we've done, that we did all the cutting and sewing, we need to sew them together to make sure they're 80.5 inches long. If they're a little bit bigger, then you need to cut this a little bigger. So I want to show you. This is one row. This is how wide your quilt is going to be. So you want all the measurements to be right. So you just have to sew these 4 together, and then the bottom 4 together are the same way. But we've sewn these together, and they are 80.5 inches long. So we're good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is just more fussy cutting, which you've done before. But because of this measurement, I want to show you how I did it. And I did it the same way Anne Marie did it. So with this you've got this big fabric, and it's long. And you want to cut in the center of these flowers. So 9.5 inches wide. We only have an 8.5 inch ruler. So we took another ruler and taped it on with painter's tape for an extra inch. So this is 9.5 inches long. So the only thing you want to do is make sure this is in the center of a flower. And so how I did that, I put it on the edge here. And then I took another ruler, and I'm going to start at the bottom because I cut the entire row. It says 45 inches, but I cut the whole strip that they sent us so that then I can center my 3 flowers. As you can see, in the end, we have 3 flowers that are perfectly centered with just the right amount on either side of a piece of flower. So how I wanted to do it was to cut this whole row, and then I can fit 3, because this one doesn't have enough on the end. So this is probably going to be your first flower. So you want to cut all the way. So when you get this 9.5 inches, kind of in the middle, I just place this ruler. I can see it's a little crooked, so I want to move this over a little bit. And then I take this ruler and measure. Okay, this is just 3/4 of an inch. And I go down here, and it is also 3/4 of an inch. So I'm kind of straight. So then the only thing I do is I start cutting on this side. Now, when I've taped this on, this one is flappy, so I always cut on the bottom ruler if you've taped yours like mine. You don't want to cut on this end because it doesn't really touch the fabric. So we cut it, and then I slide it down. We're going to slide it down, and then we're going to do the same thing. We just continue this line, and again I'm going to I can see it's a little off, so we're going to measure here to make sure it's just about 3/4, and I'm good to keep cutting. And then we're going to pull down here. And it's getting exciting because this quilt is starting to come along, so it's going to be beautiful. So anybody who's doing it with us, you're probably as excited as we are. And those that haven't done it may want to get it. We still have some left. So that's the one side, and then I just turn it around and make sure that it is the perfect 9.5. Then we go down this side. And now I know I just have to be straight on this line. I don't have to use the second ruler because it's going to be 9.5 inches. Lay this down. And then I'm going to show you how to get your 3 flowers perfectly centered when you do this. This has been a fun quilt to do, and also relatively easy so far. We'll we'll see what happens when we start piecing it all together with the applique that's coming. So there is my 9.5 inches. And then you want it 45 inches. And you want to make sure that 3 flowers, so these 3 flowers will be totally in the center. Was it 45? Yeah, 45. I thought, ooh, I hope it wasn't 45.5. So what I do is I want these 3 in the middle. So I'll put this one at about 45. Well, not about, it's 45. And then I look to see if this one, this will be the edge here. And if both flowers, like that's just before the center, I need to pull it down a little bit more, I think. Okay, so this is just at the red. And this is just after the red. So it's pretty close, maybe just a hair. Okay, so let's see. This one's right at the green, 45. And this is right at the red. A hair this way. And you can just play with this, but I mean, as long as, and I think that's pretty good. So we'll cut it here at 1, and then we'll flip it around. Well, actually, I'll do this one at 45 this way. So this is 45. And then we'll flip it around. And we will get our 45. Make sure that that's even. Measure twice, cut once, right? And here we have our 45 by 9.5 with our 3 flowers in the center. So you're going to do that with this color. We have a darker blue over here. You're going to do the same thing with this dark blue. And then you're going to do the same thing with these big flowers. So it's all fussy cutting in that way. And after we get them all cut out, I trust you to cut the rest as she did. Anna Marie, you can watch Anna Marie on freespirit.com under Be Inspired and the Welcome Home block of the month. So once we get it all cut out, I'm going to show you how we start piecing it together now. We already have the big rows put together, so we're just doing the center. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'll come back and show you how we put it together. Thank you.